We're a couple days away from the 2024 NFL Draft. I know you talked about feeling confident and aligned at your press conference leading up to this moment. What makes you feel confident and aligned about what this staff is wanting to do?
Yeah, really the work that's gone into it. It's been an exhaustive process, but the level of detail, again, led by Kyle Smith, our entire college department, the level of detail that we operate with, and then once the coaches get involved, and this is a very impressive, talk about the intelligence, the work, the diligence that they put into it, and then as we go through our process, we don't have groupthink, and we have a lot of good, productive debate as we continue to go through, but there's a very clear vision of what we're looking for and what we want to bring in on the field, off the field. It's very clear, and so we're very excited because of the people that are involved in the process, all the work that's gone into it, not just the coaching staff and the scouts, but the analytics department, everybody in the building. This is a very inclusive process, and so we're very excited about all the work that's gone into it.
You said a couple of times to this point that you feel confident about the roster that's been built, confident enough that you feel like y'all could go out there tomorrow and play a game. What gives you that confidence, and how does that alter draft day or draft weekend for you guys?
Yeah, what gives us the confidence is, again, you look at all the work that's gone into it and the confidence we have in our coaching staff and the way they get the most of players. And we have a lot of good football players out there right now, smart, versatile guys that can do some different things in some different areas. And when you bring in smart, versatile players, as you go into the draft, we know if we add to any position, there's flexibility. We don't have just a rigid guys that can't move and can't do some different things. So we know that we have the coaching staff to get the most of our players, and we have a versatile players with versatile skill sets and the intelligence to move around and do some different things so we can get all the best players on the field. So it comes from the staff, comes from the locker room right now where it is, the work and the passion that we know that the players that from last year, they're going to take another step. And so we can keep bringing in competition, but the players are going to continue to improve.
When we talked at the Combine, you used the term, you and Rob both did, an aggressive mindset, and you said, we have needs and we're gonna go get them. And fast forward a month and you go out and get Kirk Cousins and you go out and get 3 new receivers and you made these moves in free agency, and that aggression did show up. So with that same word in mind, how does aggression show up in the draft for you guys?
I think it's about really confidence and not having the courage and not being afraid to do some things that we really feel good about. Right? I think it comes down to, and that confidence comes from all the work and all the preparation that goes into it. You still have to stay disciplined, and we want to make sure we're taking good players off the board at all the spots that fit our character, that fit our makeup, that fit what we're about. So you have to have discipline in that area, but we are excited about our team. Not just for right now, it's not just about getting players that can come and help us win today, but again, you get those college players for 4 to 5 years, so there's going to be some players that it could be more developmental and could help us more in the future. We want to build a sustained winner. So we'll make sure we have that discipline. Don't just be a prisoner of the moment. Let's think big picture. But all the aggression comes from confidence, which comes from the work and preparation.
When you're kind of going through the plan and you see how many opportunities, how many bites of the apple you have within this draft class, a lot of picks that you have at your disposal, how much does it weigh in the back of your mind how those picks can be used?
Yeah, great question. What you really have to look at is you have to really assess where we see the draft board, where we see the strengths and the areas where there are a lot of depth, areas where there aren't depth, and we have to really know that, hey, there could be a certain point in this draft where there can be a dip in talent level, and it depends on how it comes off, right? And so, but there could be a dip, so we say we know the caliber player we're getting at, we know the caliber we're getting at 43, but when you see things moving, if there's some players, you look in the last 2 seasons, obviously we've utilized a pick to move up in the second round to get Bergeron, to get AK. Very excited about both those players and excited that we got them. Could they have been there at our pick? Maybe, but we want to take those variables out and take the unknown out in those cases. So as we get into the second round, the 2 third-round picks, as you get into those areas, you know where the board is, know where your stack is, and there's some times you need to be more aggressive and go up depending on what's there. Tori, also also there's some times that you want to move back because you feel really good about the depth in some areas, and so you're comfortable moving back and getting more. It just depends on that draft and really how it's stacked. So it's important to know that, because that'll really guide you in terms of the decisions you make.
What does the next couple days look like for you? All the way leading up to when y'all are on the clock, regardless of where you're on the clock. You know you'll be on the clock. It may or may not be at number 8 overall.
Yeah.
But what does that time between now and then look like?
Yeah, a lot of phone calls and a lot of catching up with other teams and talking to them, continue to gather information. Again, we continue to have conversations with our staff. The hay's never in the barn until you turn that card in. You're constantly working, and you feel good about the work that's gone into it, but when you love what you do, you're constantly working, you're constantly doing it. And if hey, let's look at these later round picks a little bit more. Let's look at these guys that are probably gonna be after draft a little bit more. You continue to work as you go, but there'll be a lot of phone calls over the next couple days.
Yeah, you're busy this time of year, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so one more question. If this is Sunday, the draft's over, the hay is in the barn, it's done, the draft class is done. What is the theme of this draft class at that point? What are you hoping that this draft class does for your 2024 roster?
Yeah, I think it's the same theme. It's about being aggressive and confident, right? And that's how we that's how we operate, right? Because you never want to operate out of fear because you can always overthink things and worry about this and worry about that, we be focused on the process and really trust that process and know that all the work that's gone into this, that we have a confidence level as we go into it, and we're aggressive in executing that. And the belief comes from, again, all the people in the building, all the work that's gone into it, so you can go in and be confident, be aggressive, and go in and get players that are gonna make us better. And we know we can do that all the way from the 1st to the 7th round pick. You look at with a guy like the safety from Alabama that we got late last year and the impact he made, and he's taking a step this offseason, and he's going to have another really good year. And so you can look at undrafted guys, right? We got a linebacker that we got undrafted out of Colorado State. That's a pretty good football player, right? And so when you go and you look at that, hey, at every point in this draft, whether we're talking about day 1, 2, 3, or guys that you bring in for tryouts, we're going to be aggressive and confident. We're going to focus on our process and bring in really good football players and add competition to this team.
I love it. It's a good note to end on. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you very much.